human self presents to me many challenges that burden me. My heart center shines and calls to me. This is who I choose to be. Sometimes lessons.
Welcome to the Vibrational Alchemy Podcast. This is Penny Fisher, and we are so glad you are joining us for this week's episode. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to this next in our series on meeting the Divine Feminine Archangels. We know, so many of us know the divine masculine aspects of these angels. And about a year ago or so, I guess I was preparing to teach a class on the angels of the seven sacred rays. And as I was channeling through information, these divine feminine partners decided to come through. And if you were with us for the equinox episode, you'll remember that Archangel Faith, who is the divine feminine complement of Archangel Michael, came through and wanted to offer us some support as we were navigating the equinox and working to come into balance. And from there, she said, "No, it's time. Let's do this." And so we did an episode 49 that talked about angels and archangels and what they are and how to communicate them and guardian angels. So if you want more information about that, you can check out that episode. And then we've worked with Archangel Faith. Last week, we worked with Archangel Clarity Christine as part of the second ray. And this week, my darlings, this week we get to work with or meet and experience Archangel Gabriel and his divine feminine complement, Archangel Charity Grace. And they are part of the third of the seven sacred rays, the third ray of cosmic or unconditional love. So we'll do like a super quick recap about angels. We'll do a super quick recap about the seven rays, the seven sacred rays. And then we'll hop right in. So angels and their divine feminine complements are messengers of God. The word angel actually comes from a Greek word, angelos, that means messenger. And these are beings of pure love and pure light who exist for the purpose of bringing the message of unconditional love, the unconditional love of Source, to each one of us, and to assist us in remembering that that's who we are, so that we can bring heaven to earth. Now, angels do not have gendered identities. They are not masculine or feminine. They do, however, hold those two energetics within them, as do we, right? We're not talking about sexual identity. We're not talking about gender identity. These are vibrations. And so when we think about angels and we think of them as a coin, right? If you look at one side of a coin, it's heads, and the other side of the coin is tails, but it's still one coin. It's the same with angels. One side holds masculine energy, one side holds a feminine energy, and yet it's still one angelic being. And when we call on the masculine aspect, which has to do with being in movement, being in motion, getting things done, we, by default, because it's the same angelic being, are also activating and calling in the divine feminine energetic, which has to do with creativity, with flow, with gestation, with birth. And vice versa. When we call on the divine feminine energy, we get the divine masculine energy. So this series is focusing on the archangels of the 7 sacred rays. And the way that my guides explained these 7 sacred rays is that source energy, pure love and pure light, wanted to know itself. And so it sent itself through what my guides call the prism of creation. And just like when you shine a light through a crystal, you get many different colors. As source passed through this prism of creation, it refracted into these beautiful rays, each of which holds a very unique color and vibration. Now, we are most familiar with 7 of these sacred rays, but I do want to let you know that my guides have been telling me, and I've been reading in other places and hearing from other sources, that there are almost an infinite number of rays, and more of them and their energetic qualities are going to be made known to us in days to come. So let's talk a little bit about this 3rd sacred ray, the ray of cosmic or unconditional love. The main qualities of this ray, the first one, as you can guess, is unconditional love. And the caveat that I will add to that is that it is about unconditional love that starts with love of self, that starts with self-acceptance, that starts with that willingness to give yourself a big hug and know how wonderful and worthy and perfect you are. This ray very much holds the energetic of the vibration of compassion and achieving a state of grace toward ourselves, right? If we have time, we're going to talk about living in a state of grace. If not, it might become another podcast. But this idea that many religions define a state of grace as living without sin, and it's a place of us acknowledging through the energies of this 3rd ray that we are always living in a state of grace. Because if we are aspects of God, source, creator, all that is, we can forget our divinity, but that doesn't change our reality. And when we approach ourselves through the vibration and the energetic of unconditional love, then we are able to remember our alignment, right? And when we do that, we are able to walk in the world as love in action, love in human form, which is why we are here. We are what one of my favorite phrases is that we are the mystery of source, which is love forever extending itself. That's why we're here. That's how we bring heaven to earth. You can imagine that the corresponding chakra is, of course, the heart. The corresponding color is one of the heart chakra colors, which is pink. The stones, ruby, rose quartz, ruby, rhodochrosite, these beautiful crystal allies that hold the vibration of love. And the 2 archangels, again, 2 sides of the coin, of course, Charity Grace, and we'll meet her shortly. But I'd like first to talk about her divine masculine partner and complement, Archangel Chamuel. To say I love this archangel is like Noah saying we're in for a little rain. Archangel Chamuel is very often known as the finding angel, and I'm air quoting here. And I have to just share one of many, many experiences that I have had with this angel, because I want to highlight something in here. So we were traveling recently, and along the way somewhere, I lost my favorite headband, right? This is not a crisis. This is not something that's going to throw me into a meltdown. But this is one of those pieces of apparel that I go to all the time. So before we left where we were, I searched. I emptied out my pocketbook. I emptied out my suitcase. I looked in cars. I turned coat pockets inside out. I went through every place that this could be. No headband. So as we were preparing to travel home, I connected with Archangel Chamuel and I said, all right, look, I would really, really like to have this headband back. So if you can make that happen, I would be grateful. And if not, it's okay. I trust you. And it's just a headband. And we headed on home. Literally a week later, I went into my pocketbook, the same one that I had had when we were traveling, looking for a piece of paper. And at the bottom of the pocketbook, and I had literally emptied everything out of it. The bottom of the pocketbook is the headband. So I share this with you because I think the thing that matters most in my little anecdote is the place where I was willing to surrender and hand over complete trust to this archangel to help me find what needed to be found. And that's a silly little example. I have others where there was a lot more on the line, like a lot more on the line. And even then, the importance of just releasing and trusting. Because when we do that, we open up the flow of this superpower of Archangel Chamuel. Because this superpower goes much deeper than helping us find stuff. This superpower is about us helping to find aspects of ourselves that we've lost. It's about helping us to remember at a soul level that we are source energy in human form. We are, some people call us angels in earth suits. We are that energy. Archangel Chamuel will often be thought of in terms of finding relationships, right? Relationships of the heart. All true. And yet the most important relationship that this archangel will help us find is the relationship with ourselves. He works in the service of activating this memory of our inner reality. And this is the place where real magic happens. When we find who we are and we reconnect with that aspect of our hearts, we move through life with so much more balance and ease. There's a book by author Stuart Pearce called The Angels of Atlantis. And I love this quote. The love Chamuel offers is the love that transcends and transmutes the ordinary self. This love moves our consciousness through the wastelands of despair into the depths of a balm of compassion such that we arrive in the sanctuary of emotional maturity, striking the cosmic note of serenity in our hearts and souls, so we may meet the light of a new beginning and release attachment to the sentimentality of the past. In other words, my darlings, we get to remember who we are, what we are, and live our lives that way. And that is the path to balance and ease. So while Archangel Chamuel is assisting us and helping us only when we call on him, right? Our angels are bound by the laws of the universe, including the law of free will choice. So we need to always call them in, ask for their help. Okay. His divine feminine complement, Charity Grace, is helping us to experience charity. Now, as I was preparing, I took a quick look at the dictionary, and the Merriam-Webster dictionary defines charity as, quote, generosity and helpfulness, especially toward the needy or suffering, end quote. Archangel Charity Grace's superpower is to remind us that the most important place that we can start in extending charity is toward ourselves. And at least for me, that can be really hard because we have been so conditioned to see ourselves as unworthy, as less than, as broken, or needing help from outside ourselves. And the truth of the matter is that as Archangel Chamuel helps us find ourselves, we are able to step into a place of charity and grace for ourselves. And in your life, it will look unique. It might look something like you've been invited to go out and you just do not feel like spending time with a lot of people, so you will stay home and be gentle with yourself. You're feeling overwhelmed by a series of tasks that have to be accomplished. But instead of running around, as my grandmother used to say, like a chicken with your head cut off, you give yourself the charity and the grace of just pausing for a few moments. Charity is being willing to release our attachment to outcomes and just trust that staying in the flow, staying in the heart space is a beautiful, beautiful way to navigate our lives with balance and ease, knowing that it will all work out. It might not work out the way you wanted it to, but it will work out. When we are willing to have charity toward ourselves, we put self-care first. We are able to send compassion, which is a big energetic on this particular ray. We are able to send compassion, to have compassion, to hold compassion for people around us who maybe don't see the world the way that we do. That lets us move out of a space of judgment. And being without judgment is a place where it's easier for charity to flow. It's easier for grace to flow. We release the need to control. And as a recovering control-aholic myself, I know that that's hard. But when I notice myself having to be in control, I can call in the pink light of the third ray. I can call in Charity Grace. And I can allow that energetic vibration to kind of take my fingers that are gripped around whatever it is I'm holding on to, or whatever process or whatever outcome, and just very gently start to release my fingers one by one from whatever it is that I just don't feel I can let go of. And as I release, I'm able to fall into the loving arms of Archangel Charity Grace. I know that she will hold me in the energy of her heart, which is unconditional love. No matter what I do, no matter what mistakes I think I've made, she's always got me. She is just a profoundly amazing and beautiful, beautiful being. And she reminds us that because we are of source energy in whatever way you experience source, that it is impossible for you to fall out of grace. I see her and feel her even now as I'm talking to you, wrapping each one of you, enveloping you in this cloak of soft pink love and light, infusing you, reminding you that you are always in a state of grace. For you are a perfect, beautiful, divine being of love and light. And inside that beautiful cloak, your ego self, when it too is infused with that pink light of cosmic love, it just very naturally stops chattering at you, stops making you afraid, stops telling you all the things that are wrong or could go wrong. And you can just breathe a little bit. I have a message that came through for each of you from Charity Grace that I would like to share with you. So if you are driving, walking, doing anything that requires your undivided attention right now, I would invite you to pause this recording, come back to it later, or just let this message flow over you and again, return to it later when you can give this your undivided attention, because we just want you to be safe. Okay? So snuggle in, settle in, see, sense, feel, imagine, or pretend that loving hands are wrapping around you this beautiful blanket of pink love and light. It's soft and snuggly. It doesn't make you too warm or leave you too cool. And as you settle into that, I would invite you to bring your attention to the breath flowing in and out of your nose. Allow your inhale to deepen so that with relaxed shoulders and neck, that breath flows all the way down and fills your entire torso. And allow your exhale to lengthen so that it takes just as long as the inhale did. Allow your next several breaths now to take you down out of your brilliant, beautiful analytical mind and into your heart space. It might even help to physically put a hand on your heart and just let your breath take you into this sacred space. This heart chamber is indeed your own unique sacred sanctuary. And so I invite you as you enter here to rest for a moment, connecting with the feel and the look of this beautiful space. Allowing your exhale to carry away from you anything that you no longer need in this moment, knowing that you are completely safe, completely held, completely supported. And as you rest here and continue to breathe, you notice before you a beautiful portal, a doorway of spinning diamond light. And you invite now that diamond light to flow into your sacred heart space. This is the diamond light of the cosmic matrix, the beautiful flow of energy from the cosmic heart. And as this diamond light floods into your heart chamber, allow it to fill you and infuse you in whatever way works for you. You could feel it seeping in through your skin, flowing in through your chakras. You could be breathing it in, drinking it in. Just let yourself be filled with this light. And as you rest here, you notice the light in front of you begin to coalesce. All of the pieces of beautiful pink light begin to draw together. And in front of you, you see this beautiful horizontal shaft of pink light. This light is the energy, the power, the essence of Archangel Charity Grace. She may come to you as a being. She may come to you as an image, a word, or just a feeling. Whatever it is, just trust your experience and open your heart to receive this message from her now. Venus has long been known by you as the goddess of love. Astrologically and energetically, Venus and Earth are deeply connected, for it is the playground of Earth and the human experience that most intimately allow us to find our way back to love. Pure, unconditional love, as of the love from the inception of all that is. Remember that source energy chose to know itself through the refraction of its own energetic signature and thus formed the sacred rays or flames with which we archangels are associated. The third ray of love holds the vibration of intimacy with self, that when activated and engaged will lead you to a deeper knowing of self as divinity, bringing you into a state of grace and oneness that is who you have always been and who you will always be. When you think of the word charity, it conjures images of selfless giving, of providing loving support to others who are perhaps less fortunate than you. Acts of charity offer gifts with no expectation of reciprocity. You hold these actions and this state of mind in high esteem, do you not? The archetypal energy of sacrificial love, of selfless compassion, has moved and inspired so many of your artists and writers, your musicians and philanthropists. The gift I bring to you, beloved one, is the gift of charity toward self. Yes, all those idealized icons of selflessness are worthy of your admiration, but they can only become your reality when you attend first to the opening of your own heart. When you offer unconditional love and acceptance and forgiveness to yourself. When you willingly step into communion with aspects of self you would perhaps rather not acknowledge. By connecting with me and allowing the flow of love and charity toward self, chambers in your heart that have long been closed off will begin to open. For you see, there is nothing, no aspect of self that is off limits to love and to the charity of giving and receiving love. And this, dear ones, brings you into a state of grace. Perhaps I can be known to you as Charity Grace. In many of your religious dogmas, grace is considered to be the condition of being without sin and therefore worthy of God's favor. Let us stay with this idea for a moment. When you open your heart to the loving vibration of the third ray, you remember that you are of the divine. Do you not believe that the divine is worthy of your love? Of course you do. And by extension, therefore, so too are you worthy of love. This idea of sin is completely foreign to us angels, for the only wrong that you can commit is the error of believing that you can do wrong. Truly, there is no right and wrong, only experiences and the resulting lessons learned in the service of love. And when you understand and accept this truly and deeply, all that is left available to you is love. So begin now the journey of the open heart that receives the charity of self-love, that moves into a state of eternal grace. For this is my wish for and gift to each of you. Know how much you are honored and blessed, dear ones, and how grateful we are to be in service to you as you are in service to the light. You have our unwavering love and support, and it is with deep gratitude that I am with you now and always. I am Archangel Charity Grace, and it is so. And my beautiful souls, Archangel Charity Grace wants you to connect with her often. You can call on her at any time. Talk to her like you would talk to a friend, someone you trust. When you're feeling like you've lost your way, when you're feeling like you're not worthy, when those old wounds and old hurts come up, when people make you feel less than, call on her, and she'll be there in a heartbeat, reminding you that you are worthy of the charity of self-love, that you have never been in anything except a state of grace. Because you are, in truth, my darlings, perfect beings, divine beings, beings of pure love and light. I am, as always, deeply humbled and grateful that you have chosen to spend this time with me. I am Penny Starhart, and this has been the Vibrational Alchemy Podcast. Until we are together again, remember always that you are loved and you are love.